everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with a 23 book unhaul. I think I did my math right. I don't know. Let's jump into it. Okay guys, the other night it was legitimately, I think 11:30 at night, and I was overcome by the fact that I had stacks of books that did not fit into my shelves, and I decided it was time for an unhaul. I had to get rid of some more books and really get cutthroat about what was there that I had read that I was never going to read, or that was there unread that I was never going to read, or that I just don't want anymore. Yeah, I put a whole bunch and I relocated them to my closet that I wanted to keep because they were like special Outcrate editions that I didn't maybe love, but I didn't hate, but they're signed and they're pretty. I put them in the closet. I put my entire Sarah J. Maas Throne of Glass series in the closet because I just don't need to see them on a day-to-day basis, with the exception of Assassin's Blade, because I freaking love that book. And then I picked 23 books that I think I can get rid of. So we're gonna go over them. A couple of these have already been allocated to a friend that I am sending away for, just because they've been so amazing to me, so I wanted to give something back and they wanted them. Other than that, these are all getting sold back to half-price books to hopefully, maybe, potentially fund a haul that I do from the bookstore and or BookCon money. But this stuff is going to go. I'm going to start off with this trilogy. This is the Chelsea Fine, Right Kind of Wrong, Ray Perfect Kind of Trouble, Best Kind of Broken. These were sent to me from Elisa Books and Smiles, I believe is still her channel name. And I started to try to read the first one of these and I just didn't feel particularly invested in them. And I decided that I just don't need to keep these. I have so many contemporaries that I just want to be a little bit more picky about what I'm spending my time reading, especially when I have to like invest in a full series, and this one just wasn't cutting it. This is one that I think might actually go up the mountains and go poolside for me, because I think my mom and my sisters might enjoy reading them up there, but it's just not going to stay here on my shelves. I'm also getting rid of Beautiful Redemption and Whispers at Moonlight, because I realized I picked these up because I hadn't finished these series, and these are the books that I left off on. And then I realized I don't care. I have forgotten so much about these series. And while I enjoyed Beautiful Redemption and the, I think, what is this, the Shadow Fall series, I don't need to go back to them. I would legitimately have no idea where these even pick up. And I don't need to invest that time to finish series that are this old that I've forgotten about, when there's so many new series that I want to read that I would rather spend my time on. I spent money on them on Book Outlet, but I'm just not gonna ever read them, so they're gonna go. I'm also going to get rid of Catherine Howe's Conversion. This is a thriller. This was like a scratch and dent as well. Senior year is a pressure cooker. Everyone is expected to keep it together until they can't, or no one knows when it started, no one knows who to blame. It's a creepy, gripping novel, intimately layered. I could potentially be talked into keeping this for like a spooky October read, but I have other ones. I have The Merciless, I have Anna Dressed in Blood, the follow-up to the Anna Dressed in Blood, I have Slasher Boys and Monster Girls, or the other way around, I don't know what that title is. I have other like spooky books. I have Hidden, which is the follow-up to You. Like, I have other ones that I want to read, and this one is not, it's not talking to me, so I think I'm going to get rid of it. Also, is this historical? No, it's not. So yeah, I think that one's gonna go. Unless you guys say that I really need to keep it and that it's really amazing, it's gonna go. Then I'm getting rid of Lick and Play, which are the Stage Dive series. These were also sent to me by Lisa, and I read them both in physical copy, but I also own the entire like collection of these books on my Nook, and I feel like I don't need the first two in physical and then the rest on my Nook. I can just continue to read them on my Nook if I want to reread them at any point. And they're fun, and I thought about keeping them to send away for a traveling book, but I just don't know that these are something that I'm going to ever send for a traveling book, so I'm going to just get rid of them. They were great reads. I definitely do recommend them if you're into like new adult smexy time, but I'm just not going to keep it. Then I have On the Fence by Casey West, which was probably one of my like least hated Casey West books, but I still just don't need to keep Casey West on my shelf after I read them. She's not a favorite of mine, sorry. I'm also getting rid of Christina Lauren's Dating You, Hating You. This is an ARC copy, so I don't even know if I can sell this back to Half Price Books. I might just end up donating it somewhere. I loved Roomies by Christina Lauren, but I did not like this book at all. So it's gonna go because I don't need to keep it. I don't know what I can legally do with it, but I'm not gonna keep it. I'm so sorry, Chelsea. I love you so much. I'm getting rid of the Hating Game. Not because I didn't like it. It was a 4-star book, I think I gave it. I'm never gonna reread it, so it's gonna go because it's taken up room. I'm also getting rid of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's We Should All Be Feminists. I read this. I think it's very, very important for people that need to start a course in feminism, but this one just didn't connect to me. Didn't tell me anything new or empower me, do much for me that I didn't already feel and believe as a feminist. So this is gonna go to another home that hopefully can be better well suited to. I had to switch out my battery, guys. I'm also going to get rid of Dusk or Dawn or Day by Shauna Maguire. I really kind of wanted to have a whole collection of Shauna Maguire work because I really love her Wayward Children series. But the truth of the matter is this book wasn't good. I read it and I didn't love it. It's very, very different than her other works and I just didn't find myself connecting to it, so this is gonna go. Anyas Ghosts, which I read for Contemporary-a-thon. It's not a contemporary because it does have a ghost in it, obvs. But this is a graphic novel. It is YA, it's not middle grade. I thought it was going to be more middle grade just because of like how young the ghost or the person on the front looks. But this one dealt very, very poorly with like eating disorders and bully, like I just didn't like it. I was not a fan, so it's gonna go. I'm also getting rid of a couple of my Owl Crate books. I'm getting rid of this special edition of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I don't like Alice's Adventures in Wonderland at all, and while this is beautiful, I'm never gonna reread it. I'm also getting rid of Sleepy Hollow and Other Short Stories by Washington Irving. I read Sleepy Hollow. I hated Sleepy Hollow. I'm never gonna read the other stories in this, so these are gonna go to another home. I'm also getting rid of Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. I had a couple of these that I tabbed up, but I just didn't connect to this one the way that I wanted to, and it's gonna go to another home. I know that it's a very coveted book. I think somebody else will enjoy it a lot more than I did. I'm getting rid of Amenas Voice. This is a middle grade Own Voices Pakistani American book, and I really did enjoy it, but I'm not gonna reread it. I might actually give it to one of my nieces. I could give it away, but I might see if my nieces want this before I get rid of it. Ugh, Chelsea's going to hate me. I'm getting rid of Honor Girl by Maggie Thrash. It was fine. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't. I hated the ending. The ending seriously ruined the entire graphic novel for me. While I'm so happy that this exists, this is a graphic memoir, and I'm glad that Maggie had a chance to tell her story. I don't relate to the boy band references. I don't relate to the camp references. I don't relate to the coming to terms with your sexuality references because it's just not something that I had to do. And I can appreciate the book despite all of those things, but the ending was so bad. And I know that there's going to be another one, so maybe that is redeemed, but I don't think I'm going to be reading the next one. So this just was not for me, so it's going to go back. I'm also, sorry Dylan, I'm getting rid of The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. I love Cynthia Hand, and this is a gorgeous book with deckled edges. It's centered around Christmas. It's kind of like a Christmas story retelling, you know, the ghosts of Christmas past kind of a thing, a redemption arc for a girl who's just super entitled and rich and taking everything for granted, and it was fine, but it wasn't phenomenal. I'm not going to reread it. I think somebody else will hopefully enjoy it more than me. And then these are the books that I'm going to be gifting to somebody because they're really intrigued by them and they want to read them. So I will be giving these to Stephanie, and this is the School for Good and Evil trilogy, the original trilogy by Soman Chinani. These are gorgeous covers. They're super cool. They're middle grades about a girl who is taken from her town and sent to a magical school, one for good, one for evil, where they learn how to become the princesses and princes of stories or the villains in stories. It's a really cool premise. And I actually really liked the books, but they put me in a weird reading slump. There was something about the way that they were written that made them so hard for me to read. Like, they took me a really long time to read, but I enjoyed the story overall, which is very, very strange. So book 1 is A School for Good and Evil, book 2 is A World Without Princes, and book 3 is The Last Ever After. Very, very cool series, and I hope that Stephanie enjoys it more than I do. Not that I didn't enjoy it. I hope she continues to enjoy it and then maybe passes them on to somebody that she knows in her life that might enjoy them as well. Very, very fun middle grade. I really enjoyed them. I'm just not going to reread them. So that's everything for this particular unhaul. I'm excited because now I don't have stacks of books all around my room. Everything fits neatly onto my shelves, which is very, very exciting. So that's it for now. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.